Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How you doing? Let's go ahead and quiet that down there for a minute there, sir.
I
All right, part two, part two.
had to come back. I had to cool down because you were getting me hot.
Yeah. So we've had a minute to kind of cool off and let tensions die down here real quick, man. But let's pick up where we left off. And you were fixing to give us your thoughts and opinions, or I'm assuming maybe your frustrations about how the season's played out so far. Is it with D'Amico Ryans or is it with CJ Stroud? What was it exactly that you wanted to kind of give us your opinion on?
So I'll go in on because you brought up saying it's Miko. I'm going to talk about Miko real quick, and I'll probably get into CJ Stroud as well. But
All right, all right.
I'm gonna go Miko because I haven't checked the statistics, but I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that the Texans are the most penalized team in the NFL as of week 2 or 3, whatever we're in now. I guess 3 because the game just happened today. And this is not something new either. Last year, I believe we were one of the most penalized teams in the NFL as well. The Texans have always, not always, but as of recently, it just seems like penalties have just been brutalizing us these past couple seasons. And to me, constant penalties in a game, especially when they're disciplined type of penalties like offsides, holding stuff like that, the stuff that you
False
can
starts.
false starts, yes, those like to me that comes back on the coaches. To me, that's discipline. How much are you drilling the importance into these guys? How much are you practicing to where these guys know exactly what they're looking for? Like what's going on in practice? Like why are these guys messing up so much? Like what's going on? Like that's why that's where I fall into to Miko, because ultimately the defense, which he's mainly in charge of, being a defensive guy, is they do perform since he's been here. The defense has always been good for Texans, and whenever he came, we just made it better. Even last year, we were like top 5 defense in the NFL. Granted, we were who we were. I mean, we weren't the worst team, but we weren't the best. We were who we are because of our defense. And I think exactly is going to happen this same year. It's going to be another repeat. Our defense is going to get us so far, and because you can see these past couple of games, our defense is holding up, but it just looks like they're getting tired. They're getting fatigued. They're getting tired of not necessarily being on the field. Yes, being on the field, but
I was going to say
having
that has a lot to do with it.
having to make big plays and have your quarterback not capitalize on it just to go back. It's like it's demoralizing because they are coming up with turnovers. They are getting these 3 and outs. They are making these stops. And it's like you do all this because you do it. You're hoping that your offense is going to go in there with some momentum, build off of that stop, build off of whatever you just did to get the ball back,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not delivering. They're not delivering at all. And the Texans, they do have a new offensive line. Everyone in the offensive line is pretty much, I believe, 3, maybe 4 of the 5 people in the O line they're all new. So one thing we're that's another thing there. We're fighting chemistry, but I can't even say it's fully on the offensive line. That's where CJ Stroud comes into play. And what I said about like fundamentals and stuff, like it just seems like he's lost his entire ability to step up in the pocket. Like these guys are doing what their job, and they're blocking these defensive ends, these linemen. They're pushing them out, and sometimes there's a lane clear as day for CJ to step up in. Maybe 1 to 3 steps, giving him an extra maybe 2 seconds to look downfield and get the ball out, but he's not doing it. And it's like, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? This looks like the same CJ we saw last year, but a little worse. If I'm gonna be honest, I believe this is a little worse than the CJ we saw last year. I can't say who's to blame or where we're going. I hope CJ can find his rhythm, get back on his saddle. I don't know where the Texans go with this, but yeah, it's getting frustrating, bro. It's getting real frustrating. Like I said, I'm on the same boat as you. I'm just not as mad because football is like my second, third sport, And I'll cheer against the Texans when it comes to fantasy football. So it doesn't hurt me as much, but it still hurts because it's been a disappointment lately. CJ Stroud, at least. I just expect more. I want more. I think we all do.
Yeah. Well, and to back up your point right there, right? So they ranked sixth in defense last year in 2024 in terms of yards allowed per game. They ranked sixth. They were also middle of the pack. They ranked 15th in like total plays for the entire season. They were middle of the pack in terms of offense, sort of in terms of yards per game, right? Versus this year, just through 2 weeks, they're ranked 28th in offense. So again, you talked about how the defense seems like they're getting tired. That's supposed to be y'all's identity. But again, the reason why they look tired is because they're getting off the field so fast. They're not able to stay on the field this season so far as long as they have been able to last season. And so that's a big reason as to why that defense doesn't quite look as stout as what they need to be. But you have to take into account that Joe Mixon is injured. So the running game is somewhat diminished to an extent. Although you have Nick Chubb, uh, you know, Nick Chubb is
Making
coming
bonehead
up.
touchdowns.
Well, he's coming off of that nasty injury that he had back in Cleveland, right? The same injury that he dealt with in college with that hyperextended knee, was out for a season, came back. The team kind of seemed like they wanted to move on from him because they felt like he had kind of lost his step and whatnot. And so he goes off in the offseason, signs with the Houston Texans. The Texans have Joe Mixon, but then Joe Mixon goes down with the injury. So there's no telling when he's going to be back. And Joe Mixon was the lifeline to that team last year, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you know, uh, anytime they needed to do a dip and dunk, getting yards after catch, I mean, that's where Joe Mixon kind of made that offense tick up a little bit. And I think we may have lost Lupe, folks. Interesting. We shall be back.